to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I will read the district mission statement. In partnership with the communities, the mission of the Dilworth Clinton Felton School District is to educate individuals in an environment of trust and respect so they become self-directed, responsible, lifelong learners. All right. I'm technically not the chair, but I'm the temporary chair. And so as part of that, the first thing we need to do is to have an election for the chairperson. Just a note to the public that the new board members have signed their oaths of office. So you don't need to do that right now. So they are fully board members. Welcome. And so nominations are now open for the office of chairperson.
I nominate David.
And we don't need a second, but I will. You're good. You're good. So we have to go through this process. This is the process we go through. So David is nominated. Are there any other nominations for the office of chair? Are there any further nominations for the office of chair? And are there any further nominations for the office of chair? If there are no further nominations, nominations for the office of chair are closed. All those in favor for David Larson to be chair, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right. We'll go on to the board agenda. Roll call. We have all board members here tonight, and as well as Brooke and Shannon, of course. The agenda, do we have any changes to the agenda? We do not. Right. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda? Motion by Laura. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Brittany. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On to number 6, public comments and rebel recognition.
Well, I'd just like to say welcome to Troy and Angela to the school board. So,
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you for putting your names in the hat and your willingness to do it. So, appreciate that. So, we got activities are going full bore. And so, a lot of good things in wrestling, a lot of good things in basketball, and the holiday tournament went well. The basketball here.
It was fun to watch Aria hit her 1,000th point at her home game last week.
Yeah, so there you go.
Honor band went down to Fergus Falls this last weekend. Speech is just starting, and the one I play is underway as well. So yeah, it's a really busy time.
And I was present, obviously, as a county employee. I work at the courthouse typically, and we had a situation where the county board was hearing testimony or information, I guess, from public comments in reference to a tobacco ordinance. And we had some adults there, but more importantly, we had some DGF students who were brave enough to step up and speak on a public meeting that is recorded and live, that a fair amount of people attended, and some of them weren't in favor of it, and yet our students stood their ground and did a really great job of kind of giving their perspective and giving their thoughts on the process from the RISE Club, and kind of spoke to a voice of the students in favor of a flavored tobacco ban in the county. So I was extremely impressed by their ability to public speak, but more so just the courage it took to get up and do that. So kudos to them.
Heard a lot of good things about that day. So,
Yeah, it was fabulous. I was very proud.
Good.
Any other rebel recognition? All right, we'll go on to 7.1, board committee reports, the budget committee. The budget committee met at our last board meeting just prior to Christmas. We went over the audit, and the audit is what they would call a clean audit. And just looked at, our various fund balances, and we talked a little bit about the Shannon's work to try to get an increase to the LOR, what does LOR stand for again?
Local optional revenue.
Local option revenue. And we'll have more report, I suppose.
Yeah, and then we also, I was just thinking, that was right before our Truth on Taxation meeting, so we talked about that too, remember that? And that slideshow kind of a little bit about specifically where DGF falls and why we pay what we pay and what the increases primarily were from is property values.
Right,
Yep.
right. Any questions? Budget questions for the committee or Shannon?
Yeah, and I will say, obviously budget related, is that at our next board meeting, we'll have the final budget for 25, so fiscal year 25. So I will be presenting that at our next board meeting.
All right, we'll go on to 7.2, the superintendent report.
Yeah, and I just wanted to keep it simple tonight because we got to get other other positions filled here tonight. So obviously, we're going to the MSBA conference this week. I will be leaving Wednesday afternoon and coming back Friday afternoon. So just kind of make sure that I think everything is good and set there. We just have to talk about how we're going to get there and who's driving and who's not driving and what that looks like. So just excited about that. I talked to John Marker today, our lawyer. He's going to try to hook up with us on Thursday afternoon or evening just to talk about what is going to happen soon. And then in February 10th is what we're shooting for. John and Nick is our architect expert. They'd like to present to the board what we're gonna go and present to the people we're gonna be mediating with. We'll just leave it like that. So anyway, so that's gonna be coming, and he would like to meet with us down in the cities if that works. So, which would be great, because I said I'd like to introduce him to our new board members so he kind of knows, and you guys know what's kind of going on with that. So that was good. Second semester is going to come here real soon. So January 20th is the first day of our second semester. Visiting with principals, they said first semester has gone well, and excited at the high school. There's going to be some changes in classes and whatnot. So, but overall, just really happy, and we're already halfway through the year. Boom. So there we go. And unless you guys have a ton of questions for me, I try to keep you updated in the weekly update too, and then we're going to MSBA, so I thought you'd probably see enough of me.
I do have a question. When you said the second semester starting, I don't know why it made me think of it. Did we ever sort out the driving permission slip thing with the policy?
I don't know, I'm gonna have to check. I did bring it up at our admin meeting, our principal meeting.
Because I, as a parent, haven't received anything to sign for my child to leave during lunch.
Oh, okay.
So
Nope, that's a great question.
I'm not sure.
Yep, brought it up at the principal meeting, right, I think it was that week of our board meeting. So, yep, I'll find out.
Very good. Any other questions for Shannon? All right, we'll move on to 8.1. This is to approve the regular meeting minutes of December 16th, 2024. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Nicole. Do I have a second? Second. Second by Mike. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On to number 9, declaration of association for possible conflict of interest. This is opportunity, so the public knows this opportunity for anyone on the board, if they have conflict of interest, to declare that. And it's helpful later on in the year if we ever have something that come up. So I don't know if anybody has any.
I think I've said this the last 4 years, but my husband's grandma owns Monk Sanitation, and she passed, so it's being run partly by my mother-in-law. We've already worked with before I got on the board, so just putting it out there.
All right. Anybody else have anything? All right, very good. Let's go on to number 10. 10.1, this is for the nomination of a vice chairperson. And so I will open it up to nominations for vice chairperson. Right. Nicole is nominated. Are there any other nominations for the office of vice chair? Are there any other nominations for the office of vice chair? Are there any other nominations for the office of vice chair? If there are no further nominations, nominations for the office of vice chair are closed. Seeing that there's only one person nominated, all those in favor for Nicole to be the vice chair, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We'll go on to 10.2. This is for the nomination and election of clerk. The nominations are now in order for the office of clerk. Nomination of Laura, is that what I heard?
Yes, with a question.
With a lot of confidence.
Following toll. So Laura,
I accepting said nomination, that's the question.
Laura is
She's so good at
nominated.
it.
Are there any other nominations for the office of clerk? Are there any other nominations for the office of clerk? Are there any further nominations for the office of clerk? There are no further nominations for clerk. Nominations for the office of clerk are closed. Seeing that we have one, all those in favor of Laura as clerk, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Laura is our clerk. On to 10.3, this is the nominations and election of treasurer. The nominations are now in order for the office of treasurer.
I nominate Brittany.
Brittany is nominated. Are there any other nominations for the office of treasurer? Are there any further nominations for the office of treasurer? Are there any further nominations for the office of treasurer? If there are no further nominations, nominations for the office of treasurer are closed. Seeing that we have one person nominated, Brittany. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Brittany is our treasurer. Very good. We'll go on to number 11, the consent agenda. 11.1, this is to approve the bills to date for January 2025 in the amount of
$255,369.18.
all right, good. Also included in your packet is we'll approve and file for audit the treasurer's monthly budget report. And then also to approve the resignation of Randy Larson, paraprofessional, effective January 24th, 2025. Do I have a motion on the consent agenda? Motion by Mike. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Brittany. Any questions or discussion?
You'll notice that we're just about right on our percentage, which is not where I'd like to be, but with our enrollment and the dollars coming into the state, we're right on, and we'll talk more about this next, at the next board meeting, when we do the final budget, but definitely tighter this year than what I'm used to. Enrollment being the number one factor.
Yeah. And we were really close to where we were last year's budget as well.
Yep, very close, so, it's some of that prepay stuff, not prepay, but paying the whole insurance up front and all that, and slowly catching up, but, anyway, it's a little tighter than I like, but.
Yeah. Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the consent agenda, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. On to 12.1. This is for school board compensation. And in your packet, there is school board compensation from that was currently in place for 2024. Certainly can adopt it as that, or we can change it to. Typically, we bring a motion first and then discuss that. So if anybody has we're looking for a motion, and I can just tell you what the dollar amounts was, $300 per person. Chairperson is stipend of $100. The treasurer has a $50 stipend, and, or I'm sorry, the clerk has a $50 stipend. The treasurer has a bi-yearly stipend of $62.50. And then negotiating meetings at $50 per negotiation meeting. So,
What was it before?
That's what we were,
I think it's been this for the last 2 years, isn't it? And then prior to that, we would have a dollar amount per meeting. And it just,
so then it would be your negotiations meeting, your budget meeting, your whatever, so it got kind of goofy and hard for,
it's just a lot of record keeping.
yeah, for the office to try to figure out all the things. We had gone then to a monthly flat stipend. And we looked at several other schools, and we by no means are close to like average or above average. We are, I think, below.
Yeah, the only reason that extra compensation for the negotiations is you just don't know how many meetings it's gonna be, and it's a ton of time. And so it's like, okay, we should have something separate for that. So that's how that got brought up. Yep.
I don't know if it matters since I'm the treasurer, but I don't think, personally, don't think the stipend is necessary. Like, I don't think I'm doing bi-yearly $62 more than everybody else. I don't know. If anyone else.
Treasurer, so I don't know that.
I guess, I think that's what it was at when I was treasurer.
I think
So
it's been that way for
it's just
about
kind of been that way. I never really.
20 years.
I know, I
Probably.
didn't realize it was that even. I mean, I don't care what anyone else thinks, like, it's fine if everyone else agrees, but I don't know how it got set to,
I don't.
you know, bi-yearly stipend.
Well, and I guess for clerk,
So we should probably have
Yeah,
a
we can probably get a
motion
motion.
and a second, and then we should have our discussion. I don't think we did that yet.
No, we haven't.
I so moved,
To adopt the,
as it is, and then we'll have to discuss it
okay,
after.
all right, so to keep it as
I'll
is.
second.
And Laura seconds, very good.
All right, sorry, now
Questions,
Brittany.
discussion? Yeah, no, I think Brittany,
Brittany.
whoever, yes.
Want me to redo it?
No, I understand.
I don't know anyone else's thoughts.
I've never been the treasurer, so I guess I would be open. Laura was the treasurer, you're the treasurer. I'd like to hear your thoughts as to what your duties are
Well,
as
I
the
mean,
treasurer.
I guess what I did is I reviewed the bills. I was in more communication with Marcus or Brooke. But I mean, it's not like it was hours and hours of time. So
I mean, it's $10 a month, roughly, so.
right.
Just trying to save us a few
Yeah,
bucks
yeah,
here.
no, I appreciate that, I'm just
So
saying.
the budget being as tight as it is, you know, that's
I
that
know. It matters, no.
$123. It's-
I mean, maybe you figured that there had to be some sort of an incentive to make someone want to do something additional as
Sure,
opposed to just being a director.
Sure, that makes sense.
So I'm assuming that that's why they have those in place, yeah.
It's a weird number. Can we change it to 60?
I
Yeah,
have no idea where the extra two.
Like, just make it look
Just to make
nice,
it
or 50? Can we do
125.
50 instead?
yeah, I mean,
I honestly-
I think that's fine. Would you want to make a motion to amend that?
Yeah, motion to amend the payment for treasurer to $50 for the year.
Really cut the hay.
50% pay cut.
Good.
Here, not even
Well, 50 for the year.
twice.
I mean, I'll take it bi-yearly, sure.
$100 is fine.
Okay,
Okay.
So
okay.
$123 is fine.
Let's just clean it up and put 50 then.
All right, so
Okay.
there's a,
So is
we
that
have
the
a motion to amend the
That's my
motion currently on the table. Do I have a second?
Run around.
Second by Nicole. All those in favor to, any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor to amend the motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion to amend the motion has been passed. Any other questions on the discussion on the motion? So the motion as it stands right now is $300 per person per month. Chairperson, $100 extra per month. Clerk, monthly stipend of $50. And the treasurer, bi-yearly stipend of $50. Negotiating meetings at $50 per meeting.
For the clerk, since I've been on, I don't remember when it was changed, but there's now a district employee that is doing a lot of the duties of the clerk, so I don't think it is necessary to have that, monthly stipend. I, would still do all of like, whatever signature is necessary, but the, because Brooke is doing all of the notes and sending it out to the rest of the group, and so without me doing that, it's not really necessary.
Would it make sense to make it the same as the treasurer?
You have to read a lot of
Yeah,
resolutions.
it's a groovy position, but there's
And her signature, we need her signature on quite a few things. A lot of people pay high money for an autograph.
Seriously.
So,
suggestion.
I guess I'm open to hear what other people's thoughts are on it, because it's,
I think that that would make sense to align it with the treasurer if you're saying that the job duties are consistent as far as time and energy that go into that. I think that that would be appropriate. Well, and to keep there an importance, I guess, to that position itself. And if you have to come in to sign something for Brooke or whatever, that does add a little bit to the challenges of scheduling a life.
so then have it just a bi-yearly stipend, similar to treasurer.
So that's a motion.
Yes.
We have a second to Laura's motion.
Second.
Second, any questions or discussion?
So she would be paid the same, treasurer, the $50 every June and December.
That's correct.
Yes.
Any other questions? All those in favor of amending the motion, say aye. Opposed? Motion to amend the motion is passed. Any other questions or discussions on the motion? So as it stands, $300 per person per meeting, $100
For the month.
I'm sorry, per month.
Go broke. That's how we get that pretty thing.
Save money on that
Yeah, right.
treasurer, so we're gonna
We're
just
gonna need,
crush it on the other end.
$300
You
per
maybe
person
took it
per
a
month.
year, but you
Yeah,
get it.
exactly.
Chairperson, a monthly stipend of $100. The treasurer and the clerk both will have a bi-yearly stipend of $50, negotiating meetings at $50 per meeting. Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right. On to 12.2. This is to have, to set this 2025 school board meetings. And, we have something in the back.
Yep.
Okay. The, yeah, right in front of me. The calendar is presented here is in the packet. Generally, it's going to be at 6 p.m. most of the time, and here at the Glidden Site Media Center. We have sometimes we'll have it at the, at the DGF Community Room here, and then sometimes we will have it at the Media Center for various items. Do I have a motion? Motion by Laura. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Brittany. Any questions or discussion?
Yeah, so you see there, I think there's 3 meetings at 5. These are the reasons there is we already know there's concert conflicts that are set up for a year from now. And that's the same then with that media center location. There's something going on in the auditorium or there's a game or something we already know about. So we thought, well, let's just set it because we know. So,
Are they gonna be aware of this schedule going forward, so there isn't as much shifting and changing? I mean, obviously, it's good that we have those 3 set out, but this year we had a few conflicts where they were scheduling them on top of meetings or other meetings.
yep. It's,
Fall sports meeting, winter sports meeting.
yep,
Fallen in.
we've had these discussions, so. Yep, that, it's like, we have to set something, guys, so we're gonna set it, and you just gotta avoid it. It's kind of like a, county, why am I blanking out? Township, county, elections, that's what I want to say, yeah, geez, that was easy. So we already know these dates, right? So it's like, you gotta avoid them, right? You can't have meetings, so it's like, leave us alone, right? And that's what we've said. Now,
Well, we just want to make it
unhappen-
available to the
Yep.
public and.
Yep, then that's our responsibility, right? I would agree. The thing that happens sometimes is, it's Katie, because she gets something from, and all of a sudden something has to change, it's, most of the time, it's controllable, but not always, and that's when this year we ran into a few of them. These are things we already know, so I thought, well, let's just change them and be done.
Yeah, no, that makes complete
Yeah.
sense, yeah.
Doing our best on that, but.
Any other questions or discussion?
Is there only one December meeting just because of holidays?
We just do that, that's also our truth and taxation meeting, yeah, it's always just been one, yeah. Good question.
And then we don't, it's not any like holiday. Talk about the township election.
Right, and I think the May 27th is a Tuesday because the 26th is Memorial Day. We have somebody that's highly intelligent working on this calendar, she's sitting right over there. So I have a lot of trust in her, and there is no reason why there'd be any mistakes on this now. Anyway, yeah, try our best, and we do get those dates from townships and cities and counties, so we should be okay.
Any other questions or discussions? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Same sign, motion carries. On to 12.3, this is to approve the lane changes as presented, and this is in your package. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Brittany. Do I have a second? Second by Nicole. Any questions or discussion?
Yeah, great question. So teachers take school credits, and once they reach 10, they can bounce over on the pay scale. And then when they get to 20, so there's BA 10, BA 20, you get to a master's degree. If you get your master's degree, then you go beyond. So it's just 10 credit increments, and they have to do it. There's only 2 times a year they can do it. It's before school starts in September and also in January. So this is that January meeting. So on that sheet, you can see what teachers have increased their education and what lane change they received and where they're at now. So, yeah.
And it's part of the collective bargaining agreement.
Yep, yeah, definitely.
Any other questions?
Great
or
questions,
discussion?
right? Good, yeah. Good.
Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On to 12.4, this is to approve the non-certified contract for Amy Friend, paraprofessional class 2, step 10, effective January 27th, 2025. Do I have a motion? Motion by Laura. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Micah. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On to 12.5. This is to approve the non-certified contract for Ryan Handel, custodian, class 2, step 9, effective December 23rd, 2024. Do I have a motion? Motion by Micah, by Nose. You're going to second it?
Yes, please.
And both second. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On to 12.6, this is to approve the non-certified contract for James Cook. Is that right? Yep. Custodian, class 2, step 5, effective January 6, 2025. Do I have a motion? Motion by Laura. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Brittany. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On to 13.1, the next board meeting will be Monday, January 27, 2025, 6 p.m. here in the Glendon Media Center. Or actually, not here in the Glendon, but in the Glendon Media Center, so a different site. And we'll, at that meeting, we'll do the appointment of school board district committee representatives. Following that will be the personnel committee meeting at the same site. So on 14, this is to,
I do have one question, sorry. The lane changes made me think of, do we have it set up for the, spring sports fundraisers coming up too?
Yep, so fundraisers now, I have them at every admin meeting, and anything that's been added, we add it. And we go through it, so I know what's happening, and I know that Katie knows what's happening, whoever's in charge of it. And then we'll bring it to here, we have the 3 times, yeah, so, do you remember the date?
Next meeting.
Next meeting, okay, so it'll be at the next meeting.
Perfect.
Yep, that's good, very good. Yeah, because remember we changed that policy to January, it was
Yeah, that's why I was
July,
thinking it was coming up,
October,
and
January.
then I
think.
couldn't remember.
Yep, no, it's a great question. But now I'm also having it on our agenda at every
Sure.
admin meeting because it's easy to get missed. And then we come here and we had that happen that one time.
Yep.
And I said, I don't want that to happen again. So, yeah.
so on to 14, this is to approve the adjournment of the meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Nicole, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Laura. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, meeting is adjourned.